Yo guys, Coach Theo here on Common Sense. Body transformations is what we're talking about today. What needs to actually happen in order for a body transformation to take place? It's quite simple. It's actually very, very simple, a lot more simple than what many people would believe. But that doesn't mean that it's easy. Alright, can you tell the difference? It's simple, as in it's actually quite clear and straightforward what needs to happen in order for you to transform your body. But that doesn't mean that it's just easy to do. Think of something like a cold shower. It's very simple, right? You turn the water to the coldest and you go in the shower. It's very straightforward like that. Still, it's quite tough, quite difficult to do, right? It's just that that's an example in the short term. But I want to talk about a body transformation from a big picture perspective, as I often do, and take the opportunity to talk a bit about my coaching at the same time. I'm honestly I don't like being a salesman, I don't like that part of this, but it is my job. I wish it was enough that I put out good informational videos and mention that I'm a coach and people would just be like, yeah, that's the guy. I'm gonna get him as my coach. I, of course, had to talk about it like this. And to be honest, I'm always trying to, in my videos, that's why I'm often talking from the big picture perspective. I'm always trying to give you what you need to be able to do this on your own. And I'm super happy if you can do that, because that's how I did it. Like the majority of my own fitness results I've accomplished just by figuring out the key things. Okay, but I have worked with coaches myself and I know the value of it. And at the same time, while I'm very happy if you can go on and make good progress on your own, I know I have very high confidence in myself as a coach. I know what difference my coaching makes. So I'll just talk about, as I do, what goes into a body transformation process, what needs to actually happen, and then follow up with talking about my coaching, like both technically, how it literally works, pricing, everything, but also how it would benefit your transformation process. So I have some footnotes here for this video. It might be quite long, I don't know, but let's get into it. So what needs to happen in order for a body transformation to take place? Well, first of all, we have a certain result. Our body looks in a certain way, and we want something else. Okay, so we want to get there, and in order for a body transformation to take place, we have to create a way forward. Be creating a way forward for long enough for this to happen. And it might sound quite obvious and simple, because it is, but the thing is, it doesn't look like, it can look in many different ways. I'll talk about it, but it just doesn't look in the way that many people think or how they would want it to look like, okay? Because if we think about a body transformation as a math equation, and let's say that we need it to always add up to 10, that could look in many different ways. It could be 1 plus 1 plus 1, 10 times until that makes 10. It could be 2 plus 2 plus blah, 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 etc. It could be 5 plus 5. It could be 1 plus 3 plus 6. It can happen in many different ways. But what people often think or want is like, if I just go on this program or this diet, I'll just follow this on the paper here, I'll just get my result, Like either people actually think that, yeah, that's the program, to follow, to change my body or whatever, or people want this clear answer, like, I want abs. What do I need to do for how long to make that happen? Or I want to look a certain way, or I want to lose this amount of body weight. What do I need to do for how long? And the thing is, this is again where I can't pretend to be like, oh yeah, I have the secret tricks. Yeah, if you just follow my secret program for long enough, that will make it happen. Because it's just not how it works. Yes, it could. If I have a person in front of me and they tell me a goal they have, and I knew that they would do exactly what I tell them, that I could predict quite accurately, like, yeah, if you do this for this amount of time, you should get pretty much exactly this result. Thing is, that's just not what it looks like for a lot of people. Like, if you were an actor, and it's actually your job sometimes to transform your body, not only will that, give you the push with discipline and all that, and you're getting paid and all that, it's your job. It's your regimen is work. You take work time to do that. And most people, they have a job, to schedule around. They have a schedule in their life to schedule around. They might have a family. They might have just problems like food addictions or other poor habits that make it difficult. So it just often, it isn't in reality so simple, like here's the program, here's the diet, boom. If you just do that, boom, you'll get there. No, you have to be consistently creating a way forward. You have to adjust. You have to, if you're not moving forward, you have to be like consistently creating by something you're changing to make the way forward. Okay, in this math equation, if it doesn't add up to 10, you have to find something that makes it add up to 10. So instead of focusing on the time it will get and what you need to do to get there, focus on taking the time to get there. I'm happy with that one. Don't focus on the time it will get. Focus Focus on taking the time to get there. And forget the perfect plan. There literally is no such thing. I will talk about that when I talk more about coaching. But realize that you just have to see that you're moving in the right direction. And then even if you could do something that's better theoretically, that's enough. That's enough, and you can improve as you go. So work on coming closer to perfection rather than thinking that you're going to get the perfect answer from the start. Okay, and so what you want to do is observing yourself and see that you're in a state of progression, you know, in a state of creating a way forward. And so we'll talk both about like training and weight loss, what that can look like. But the things you want to do in either way is track food, body weight, and lifts in your gym. Okay, and right, if you want to lose weight, you have to see that you're creating a way that when you walk it, your body weight goes down, right? And if you want to build muscle, improve that, you have to see the main thing you have to see is that your lifts in the gym are going up, because if you can lift more weight in the gym over time, that means building muscle. Okay, so this can happen in so many different ways again in the equation. Like I personally, like the training, yeah, I've adjusted, used different exercises to improve the same body parts, but I also lost weight in many different ways, because it's all about adapting as you go, consistently creating this way forward. Okay, so let's say we have a weight loss plateau, you know, we have to now look, we are observing ourselves, we're tracking food, body weight, training, movement, and we have to like double check our food intake. Is it actually, could it be the case that I'm eating more than I think, you know? Am I being dishonest when I'm like, oh, I had little cheats here and there, you know, but I should be losing weight. You have to be honest, take a close, like these little cheats, how small are they actually, you know? And then when you've checked, you know, you find the leak, or you just see that, okay, this doesn't seem to add up to weight loss right now. Now we have to just adjust, adapt, create. If our way forward has plateaued, we need to change something about our direction, so we're moving forward again. So the simple way, you know, lower calories, start implementing fasts if you didn't do that before. Increase energy expenditure by moving more, and then it can be, if the problem is again more behavioral, you know, not that you know that, yeah, but this should make me lose weight, but I'm not actually able to follow it. Now you have to adapt and create a way forward in that sense. Okay, it's difficult for you to stick to this calorie deficit. How can we change the way your eating looks like so that you can stick to it? If you were eating earlier in the day, is it easier for you to push off eating until later in the day, and that just makes you be able to stay full and content and happy eating this amount of food? You know, there are many things for someone in different directions. For someone it's easier to eat a bit, like 3 or 4 meals and stay in a deficit. For someone maybe it helps to, if they were on 3 or 4 meals, to reduce it into 2 bigger. There's like so many different ways. It's a little personal, right? And if we have the training, you plateau with your training, well, you have to ask yourself, am I actually training, pushing myself hard? Am I actually actively, progressively overloading myself? Like, am I challenging, am I trying actively to move more weight? Like, you move the same weight for more reps or increase the weight. I do a certain amount of reps on an exercise with, like that. And the last thing would be programming. Is your programming just poor? Because, you know, the basics of just consistency, progressive overload, intensity, and that can make even a quite poor training program make progress. But programming is one of the most important things when it comes to making training progress. And if it's poor enough, and especially if it's combined with not pushing yourself as hard as you should, but consistency and all this, that would be a leak, you know. So you see, I'm giving these different examples, but I'm more than thinking of like, yeah, this exact regimen, if I just follow that for a certain amount of time, I'll get there. Think about consistently just creating a way forward. Make sure, and if you take back steps or if you plateau, it's just, you have to soon enough create a way forward again, okay? So when it comes to the coaching, I would describe the coach as a catalyst of something like this. Like, so how it works when I get a client, they've signed, they paid for whatever service. I will interview them, just get to know them. What's your life like? What's been your struggles before? I figure out like how often can they train? What do they have access with? Like, do they train at home? Like, I can make anything happen always. Like, do they have access to a gym? What level are they at? What does their life look like? How often can they train? And then kind of the same thing with diet, right? Do I think this is a person that should use prolonged fasting or not? With what they're describing to me, with their eating habits and that, what intermittent fasting window do I think is best? What macros? What amount of meals? All this kind of stuff. And then I have a training app where you log both your workouts and your food, and that way I get and body weight, of course, and that way I get to observe, the trend like that. But so the difference here, with you could technically, like I tell you, you can do all of this on your own. The difference with a coach is like we're talking about the perfect plan, and that. Yeah, a coach with experience will always come much closer to creating a perfect plan. Like, first of all, I just understand training very well. So I know what good programming is. And I also know, I never feel limited, you see. Even if someone is training at home, of course, if they have less equipment, there might be some little leak in the training, but I can always create a solution with what we're doing. And if something turns out not to work, someone gets injured or something, I always have, I know, okay, this is the next alternative. Okay, this doesn't work. Okay, this is the next alternative. Okay, that, and the same thing with a diet thing. Both, again, as in if you plateau, because, what once made you lose weight just isn't enough at this point. I know ideas how to adapt from that point, but also for the person that struggles just with compliance, right? Like, we have a plan that should lead to weight loss, for instance, but you're not able to follow it. I'm like, okay, we try this instead. Oh, okay, that didn't work. Oh, we try this instead. I always know this, okay? And this is, of course, when people run into problems that they plateau or just, take back steps even. That's, of course, when people stop. They stop creating this way forward. But I'm here to tell you that the way forward isn't linear. It just has, over time, like even with back steps, you have to, consistently moving up, moving forward like that. And so apart from always having a plan for that, of course, there's accountability with working with a coach, both because you literally paid, you're literally more invested like that. But of course, you also feel like you answer to someone, and you can have the little, positive shame and guilt aspect of not following the plan, right? And then we have clarity, because people also program or diet hop. They don't stick with something for long enough, and the coach will just. I know always that this will lead to your result. Like, of course, sometimes you might, maybe you start somewhere, you have to see after even a couple of, okay, we'll have to change this thing. But like, overall, I know what makes up like, I could always make a training if I could just go into people's bodies, I wish I could. You could hire me for that, but I know that. So it's all the clarity, because many people, of course, they have self-doubt, like, oh, is it really working? Am I even doing the right thing, And working with a coach just removes that, it's like, no. And everything becomes more straightforward like that. And someone like myself, I never see problems, okay? I only see situations and think of solutions to it, A million tricks up my sleeve, as I put here. And apart from this, I'll get to the pricing and tiers, but you can always send the videos if you're not sure about your form on an exercise or whatever. Always chat, ask little questions. On my second tier clients, I don't promise that I'm like hyper available, but I will always get around to responding to everyone, and usually within a day, to be honest. But I just caveat. But yeah, so I describe a coach as a catalyst for all these things that you could do on your own. Like if you're unable to do it, if you know what you should be doing but you just don't find yourself able to do it, the coach might be the catalyst that helps you do that. But the other thing that would be the same thing for me, why I hire a coach, is like I could accomplish many training goals like that are outside of what I currently do if I wanted to. But I know that the fastest shortcut, a catalyst, is hiring someone that has already reached that kind of results and has the 2-day experience. That it's the fastest way to speed it up. So the coach is a catalyst, either to just make it happen if it couldn't happen before, but otherwise just to put you on the right track and in the right direction way faster. I would say that the fastest shortcut in something like fitness is a coach. Like probably most things you want to learn or change about is a sort of teacher or coach, really. Yeah, I have different tiers, and so the most common one people sign up with, I have an elite, very high involvement with me, and I have a second tier, more affordable option, and it's $297 per month, but I reward extra commitment. And to be honest, I let people buy a month, but I always encourage to go at least 3, because that's a minimum amount to accomplish some kind of significant change. Like the other thing, 1 month is like a sneak peek into what it would be like. But so it's $746 for 3 months, $12.95 for 6 months, $19.99 for a year, and I also have a monthly call with the introduction interview call doesn't count, but I have a monthly call with all clients on this tier, and then I have elite clients where, you know, on paper the main difference is that we talk a whole lot more, but also because of this, it's because, you know, this channel is not only about fitness, right? It's about self-improvement as a whole, mental health, spiritual health, you know, working on yourself on every level, discipline, creating better habits, getting stronger, getting more confident, improving your relationships, everything like this, you know. And so with elite clients that I talk to on a weekly basis, like one-on-one like this, there's just way more room to talk about everything like that, and actually for me to maybe even program other things, you know, like outside training and diet, like actually come up with you know, schedules for the day and more mindset to like get into. I will, you know, everyone can use what I talk about, cold exposure and meditation, all that other stuff on the channel and implement on their own. But this is, you know, this is when I have the opportunity to program even things like that for someone. But just being more involved like this, it's also for some people, by the way, if it's really the fitness, you know, weight loss, transforming your body stuff, of course, just having it's higher accountability, always catching up with someone, but it's also more room to just air every little detail. Stuff that might be a little blind spot for like either of us might just come up more easily when you're more in touch. But also, yeah, we can just talk about literally everything. So many of my clients I work with one-on-one, like all the kinds of interesting things we work on and talk about. It's very interesting. But my elite service is $19.99 for 3 months. So it's more pricey, but yeah, it's just it's next level. It's just higher involvement if the fitness and the weight loss stuff is what you struggle the most with, but it's just opportunity to work on yourself more as a whole. So, you know, you could always start with you could start with either, to be honest, like start with a lower tier, go over to the elite if you feel like I want to take it to the next level, or start with elite and feel like, you know what, I feel like all I need more assistance with now is the fitness and health. You could go down on the other one. Both could work. Really. Let me just pause and see if there's anything. No, I think that's really all there is to it, guys. Like creating a way forward. I think if we talk about just weight loss for this one, I think most people understand, right? Like, of course, I need to, if I have stored energy here in the form of body fat, I need to use more energy than I take in, you know. But what I think people struggle with is both, you know, both the technical aspect, like just like how do I even make it happen? You know, how do I structure my stuff? But then the behavioral stuff, like how, you know, I'm not able to do it. Like why? figuring yourself out like psychologically like that. And this is just that's again, you know, you can go on this on your own, and I'm so happy. You know, I love getting that kind of feedback with people tell me, even show me pictures and stuff of progress they made just following my videos. But the coach is just the ultra catalyst, you know, for every question mark or every loss of motivation, every just feeling lost overall, you know, something not working. The coach is just there to like, this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing. You know, the one that just keeps pulling you up when you fall and keeps like pointing this way, and also the one that tells you like, you know what, this way doesn't seem to be working, we'll move this way now. Or tell you when you're in doubt, like, yes, no, keep walking it, at least for this amount of time, then we decide. Or like that. So you can email me or DM me on Instagram, and I've told you everything, you know, really. Reach out if you made the decision. Right now, here in December, I'll just, if you sign up for any of my services here, I'll just get on a call with you as soon as possible. And we start a little bit here in December, preparing for the next year, but it's actually next year that the coaching time starts, basically. So yeah, other than that, please like and comment. Tell me if there's anything, because I'm keeping it big picture, but if there's anything more like in detail, you know, video suggestions, I'm always super happy to get it, because I am a big picture guy. Sometimes for me it's kind of hard. I just, you know, the more you understand something, sometimes you get like blind spots, like, this is something that people need to know. So I'm always happy for suggestions like that. Consider becoming a member if you want to go on doing your thing on your own but still support me and my content. It's very much appreciated, guys. And please subscribe for more content about fitness, fasting, losing weight, building muscle, self-improvement, stoicism, mental health, philosophy, spirituality, mindset. It is a mindset, guys. Create a way forward always. Okay, peace.